Yeah. Okay, so fellas, it's Friday. Once again, I'm excited. It came around a little faster than I thought, but either way, here it goes. So once again, it's in the hoop with the whole game. Magically, we are all here. We got uh Jay on the MIC. We got brother Bobby and Allen to start off with. So you know what I'm saying, Bobby man. Last week we had some things go on, and you told us that you had some movie passes, bro. Like, what you gonna see?
Went to go check out the Wolfman. Got to go to a free screening of that. So new film actually released today. So my thoughts on it, and not gonna spoil anybody, so no spoiler alerts. Go check it out, man. It's worth it. It was points in the film like the wifey was sitting like this the whole time.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah, it was entertaining. What I will tell people, and I'm gonna date myself a little bit, but it's okay. If you remember The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, if you've ever seen that movie and you remember it, it's kind of similar to that, and that's a classic movie. So hey, go check it out.
Okay, so shout out to Jeff Goldblum and the Fly. The Fly was crazy though, man. Jeff Goldblum, like dissolving people's skin with saliva, breaking Buddy arm on accident. It was a lot going on in the Fly. And I was young back then, man. Like Jay, you got a favorite animal creature movie? Creature film, scary creature film.
Wow. I would say I would. I'm just gonna go into a different genre and say thriller.
That's good though. That's good. Thriller. Heck yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely good.
I'm thinking about the woman that he had. Beautiful. Um, it's like that Cialis kicked in. That's all that is for me. That's basically how that would be. Like thriller. Sorry. I just,
Start the show.
yeah,
Alan, man, what about you, man? You got a good creature film, of yours somewhere in your expertise that you think about?
I mean, not really. I don't watch movies that much anymore. Not as much as I used to.
Right. Okay.
I did see Child's Play when I was like 6, so that was
Ooh,
interesting.
that'll make you not sleep with dolls or nothing like that for sure. I know that. I don't know. For me, man, I think my parents was really big on science fiction, so the Blob was one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? I
Classic.
didn't really understand what was happening, and they going and they looking in like different places, and they're in the snow, and it's ancient and it's been buried for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw it as an adult, I was like, yo, they are wild. This is different. Yeah, but it's all good, man. You know what though? I think we got everybody in the building. So you know what? We're gonna go ahead and do that thing. We're gonna hit that button. Let's go. Yeah. You know what time it is, man. It's Friday. It's 10 o'clock. So we live in full effect right now, man. It's the boys from Rec Room Sports. We got Jay on the MIC. Jay, what's really good with you, bro?
sorry about that last comment. It is what it is. Just try to appropriate what you brought up. Sorry about that.
It's
I'm
all
doing good though.
That's what's up. That's
I
what's up.
wish I knew we was gonna be talking about that. I would have had a movie already like thought out. And
It,
the only thing
it,
I think of
that
is
was random. That was my
you
fault,
said
man.
Wolfman and yeah.
No,
Bobby.
that counts.
All right. So of course, you know how that goes, man. So Bobby G, we know what time it is with you, man. Calves and more calves. What's going on, Bobby G? How we doing this week?
Still feeling good. They got a little bit of medicine last night. A little home cooking from OKC, served up cold. So it's all good. Still tied for the best record in the league. Uh, so they just it's a
Well, you
matter.
might have it by the end of the night because Shay's not playing tonight, so you
Uh
might have it
oh.
by the end of the night.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Listen, I mean they're only down 7. Only
Yeah.
down 7. But
yeah,
we'll
SGA
see.
SGA got the set down tonight, so
Uh-oh. And then of course we got AP Allen Parallels. We know he talking about OKC no matter what time it is. Allen, what's going on, man? How you doing? Everything good?
all good, man. It's Friday. Gotta love a Friday, right?
Right. For sure. Definitely gotta love a Friday, man. So we all in the building, and of course, you know how we do, man. In the hoop, rec rooms in the hoop, and we talking NBA right now. And this is one of them funny weeks where we get special treatment because we get games on random days, especially on Monday. We're gonna get into that. So that's because of course that's a big deal. So make sure you like, share, subscribe the Rec Room Sports Crew right down there at the crawler. And then we're gonna go ahead and get to it, man. So let's jump at it. So uh, just to kind of give a preview of what we're talking about tonight, man. Are there still rivalries in the modern NBA? So, like, if so, what are they? You know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean this is the league based around AAU ball, travel ball. Everybody gets to see each other. We all get to be friends. Me and I live in Florida. Jay lives in South Carolina. I get to see Jay's Instagram and see his workouts and tell him, man, I love your game or something like that. And then when we get to EYBL, like we exchange jerseys. You know what I'm saying? We go eat McDonald's together and so on and so forth. Then when we get to the league, we homeboys. We get to hang out. When I come to Portland and play in his city, he comes to Orlando or something like that. We friends, even though we get to play against each other. And at one point in time, I don't think there was that much camaraderie in the NBA. So in today's modern NBA, fellas, are there really like real rivalries, or is it just sometimes it's just a little bit of this thing because of wins and losses?
Um, I think they're formed through playoff experience, and then I don't think they're rivalries that just carry year in and year out like football. I mean, there may be like 3 of those, and that's like the LA teams, but and Brooklyn. I mean, Boston and the Knicks, Boston, Philly, Knicks, fit. Like kind of those, but as far as everybody else, there's mine like Cleve, like us with the Cavs, like we've been rivals with Detroit, but like Detroit's been bad for so long. We had our stretch where we were bad. Like it was only really super competitive during the LeBron years. The first time he was with us. Um, Same thing with the Bucks. It's like so far in between that you get teams that are actually good at the same time. It's hard to develop. I think they're just developed through playoffs. Like I'll just use this weekend as an example because it's recent. We beat OKC in our building. We came to their building and they beat us. If we happen to meet them in the finals, that could be something going forward. Like the Cavs would go to state have for 4 years, where it was something. But recently there hasn't been teams that consistently met in the playoffs. It's like every year you're playing something different until we get that consistent where a team is meeting every year in the playoffs, where 2 teams are meeting every year. Like Boston eliminated us, so if we played the playoffs again and we hit Boston again, there'll be something there. But like teams are going, that consistency of just meeting is missing. I think that's why there aren't really many established.
I feel you on that one.
I
Same
agree
question.
with Bobby.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Jay. You said you agree with Bobby. Go ahead.
I agree with Bobby. Basically, just to uh basically pretty much almost repeat what he said as far as for your playoff matchups. You look at your playoff matchups and you say, okay, well, the same example, Boston and the Cavs, if they meet up again. But you know what I was thinking about while y'all were talking? Now people aren't staying on teams long enough to
True.
you to get really familiar with one team too much. So It's almost like the rivalries you have now are player rivalries, not team rivalries. And it's crazy that it's come to that where you have a player that got into a fight on a whole nother team, but guess what? They're playing on another team now, and they're gonna bring up the fight from last season. They're like, oh, what's it gonna be? So it's weird because it's now turned into reality TV in a way. And then now you have Twitter, you know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen before the game, I kind of like the fact that I've seen some punches thrown this season, which we shouldn't like. We shouldn't condone violence, but at the same time, we actually seeing punches thrown and people throwing hands, and it wasn't Jordan Clarkson. Anyway, you know, it it's just a player thing now, and it's so I guess you could say conditional as far as players being on teams and staying on teams and just having runs on teams for like if it's not a star player, pretty much everybody's pretty much disposable. Like they can be gone in next season, 2 seasons from now.
Yeah.
They can be used as trade bait, whatever. Everybody's on the trade block. So a little bit of the same of what Bobby was saying, but it just seems like now it's just a player thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whit, for first, you're muted, but second of all,
but same question, man. Same question.
I mean, it pretty much is because there's so much parity in the NBA now. Guys are going to different teams. Guys are more buddy with each other than anything else, unless your name is Draymond Green, of course. Then you're trying to fight anything that moves. But like. You see the personal player rivalries. I mean, we kind of talked about it off air. You got Chet and Wemby kind of building a little bit with that, but there's not much there. Cleveland, if they play Boston again, that could be something that you could watch, or maybe the Knicks. One of those three teams you could have in that. Like, I mean, you've got Dallas and OKC tonight. If you see these two teams in the playoffs, that'll be a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, so that could be something. Maybe Denver if Russ comes back. When Russ comes back to OKC, who knows? Portland with anybody. There's not really any. There's not really any rivalries, and it's kind of part of the reason why I know we'll talk about the viewership here later, but it's kind of part of the reason why the viewership has kind of dipped in the NBA. There's no really intrigue in either rivalries or personal beef with other people, other than the occasional Draymond Green fight night in Golden State. Other than that, it's not really much there. So
I like that, Alan. I like that. See, and we're gonna get further into just like Jay mentioned, player rivalries, which are also may even be on the team. You may not like somebody on the team, and then you get traded away. But for me, for sure, one of the main things I wanted to bring up was the way that the players come into the league, and then also what the players do out of season. You know what I'm saying? The off-season workouts, the off-season workout videos, that craze might have started back in I don't know, maybe 2015, where you got the videos of guys doing drills, playing together, this team, that one, this OG, this old head still doing the drills. He's still working out. He's sweating, and then, you got the young guns, working with them. There was a time when these boys did not work out together at all. You know what I'm saying? Where the disdain was so real because, A, you wanted to win, and B, you didn't like, the players didn't like these people. I can recall the secrecy of Kobe's workouts. You know what I'm saying? I remember like how about those in Slam magazine where the Kobe workouts were like, secret squirrel. You know what I mean? Like the real secret squirrel. Nobody knew. He would tell everybody that he not working out with you in the off season. And then when he finally came out with it closer to the end of his career, you would think that Kobe was going, one-on-one with guys, on those UCLA runs that that a lot of older players talk about. But in reality, Kobe was doing drills night and day in, day out, constantly, and really just playing against himself. You know what I mean? So that once he got against other players, he was prepared for them. You know what I mean? And I think that now, on top of what you guys mentioned, especially with the playoff status of some teams, because certain teams, like okay, in my mind, like LeBron and the Wizards, although the Wizards were not competitive enough to keep up with the Cavs at that time, LeBron saw how many times LeBron and the Wizards played? Bobby, like five playoff
No, just twice.
twice.
That's it.
Well, let's say
You just,
on
you just
top of
felt
that,
like it.
the in season games were on top of those, and it made it feel worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I always knew that the Wizards always had a competitive vigor for playing the Cavs, and I
Yeah.
knew.
That's right.
You know. So yeah, man. But yeah, in my mind, that's one of the realest things, man. It's a different time. So on top of everything else, what's going on? Back up, baby. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm about to say I'm gonna pause this and send it to your mama. Let them boys talk. Okay, hold on. So what's going on now? Of course, everybody knows today was a big day for basketball, not just regular basketball, but women's basketball. The Unrivaled League debuted here on TNT and on the Max today, and I thought that was actually a pretty good debut for the first joint. You know what I'm saying? For one of the first episodes, well, not even episodes, but one of the first two head-to-head, well, back-to-back games for Unrivaled. And I think that when it was a good product. Did anybody else get a chance to check out Unrivaled tonight?
I caught the second half of the last game. It was very entertaining, man. Going at they're doing the I forget what it's called, where
The
they
Elam
play
ended.
normal to the first, yeah, and then they play to a point total at the end. Game came down to the last bucket. One of the point guard, Las Vegas Aces zone.
Okay.
Yeah, point guard, Miss Gray. She was, what's the name of her team? The
Roses.
Yeah, the Roses. They took the L. But yeah, it was at the end, man. It was fine. It's just good to see them in a competitive environment because what I did watch was the pregame, and in the pregame, on the panel, they were talking about, just like you mentioned, in the male players getting friendly during like off-season workouts and stuff. And I never really thought about it. There's nothing for that for female hoopers. Like they don't do that because their thing was they would go overseas to get the extra money. So this league enables them to kind of have that like off-season workout where they can work on their game and try things in a competitive atmosphere. Without, obviously they're not trying to hurt one another. So it's like that controlled environment where they can hoop, get work in, keep their bodies prepared and maintenance and whatnot. So yeah, man, this is great to see. Great to see them enthused about it. I like the makeup. And yeah, I hope they have success with it.
For sure. Jay, Allen, did you guys check out the debut of Unrivaled tonight?
Same thing.
I haven't got to see it real quick. Sorry, Jay, but I haven't got to see it, but I do plan on watching it at some point, either tonight or tomorrow, to check it out. So, but yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry about that.
No, you good. No, it's I liked it. Very competitive, kind of wide open, being the fact that it's just 3-on-3, full court, which was pretty impressive. I loved it. I love the teams. I love how some of the teams are made up. Well, all of them I haven't, got to see, of course, all the teams. But I would say I don't know. I'm Vinyl could help me with these names. Vinyl won, right? And Vinyl had yeah, I got to get used to these rosters, but I was pretty much impressed with Vinyl, and then all the teams were impressive, but the team with Jewel Lloyd, it's like it scores everywhere. It seems like it's not. I would say, I hate to say it, it's watered down as with role players. It's just all around scores, and I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Just the fact that, like I said, all the scores everywhere. Not too many role players. But the competitiveness, we've seen it with um Diggins, Skylar Diggins
Yeah.
Smith. Sorry, because I don't like putting the last name. I don't like when they get married on me. Anyway, um, uh, it
You don't
the
like the
competitive.
hyphenated names.
Uh, it is all right. It it is. I don't know. I was wondering, like, what got. I know the game was competitive, but what got under her? Like, what got into her? Like, what happened? Like, some who put a ant in her draw. You know what I'm saying? But hey, she was competitive. She hit the game winner. It was pretty exciting to watch, man. It was, and she went game. She called game. I was looking for it to be extended a little longer, but yeah, she called game. That was pretty exciting to watch. I'm just waiting to see, what's the next what day? Couple days.
Yeah,
Uh,
tomorrow. That's I got the schedule right here. Yeah, you got tomorrow, 18th to 20th, 24th, 25th. So it looks like it's Friday, Saturday.
Look, anything's better than being in the line of fire on a gun line in a third world country. So
Or
I
going
love
to
it.
going to the gulag, right? That's
If this is a lot safer. It's good to see the players that are consistently overseas playing to make a buck. It's good to see them being able to earn it in the States, in Miami. They can go to the spa tonight, chill out, do whatever what they do, have a couple of leanies, couple uh, cocktails,
Yeah.
and enjoy the atmosphere. So nah, I really appreciate this because this is, I hate to say this, but I kind of don't like the fact that the WNBA season is actually in the summer. I
Mm.
kind of want it to be probably staggered a little bit, say sometime in the winter, like start more like in the winter or say like all-star break NBA time, and then work its way down, because they put it on, there's so many channels nowadays. Like, it's not gonna people gonna watch what they want to watch.
Mm.
You set up any schedule that conflicts, but that's just another story. But you can set up the schedule the way it won't conflict with the NBA schedule based on the good games and stuff. Like, pick your days, pick your time slots, and figure something out. But I kind of enjoy having something to watch other than NBA as an option. Kind of thought it was cool. So I guess that's just me.
Yeah, so I think that's more you're muted. You're muted with.
there we go. Yeah,
But no, just quick comment on Jay's thing. I think
y'all hit the nail on the head with that one. To be real, Jay said, the scheduling wise, I think this is one of those things that can be worked out.
but I think it's more of a venue thing. Remember, you got
Right.
the availability of the building, but it's not only like the NBA and WNBA team. You got things like concerts, the circuit. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for like here in Vegas, we got 50 million venues, and I literally saw Dana White get kicked out of T-Mobile Arena. That's why they had to use the Sphere on it was a Mexican Independence Night that because they couldn't get T-Mobile, and that's the UFC. So yeah, I don't think it really. I think it's just that's the best time for them to be able to get all NBA venues if they need to.
And I'm gonna be real. It looks like they took a page from the OT, the league for young up and coming basketball players, where the the aesthetics of the court, the ambiance, how close you can get, where they are, where they're stationed. It looks very similar, but I think that adds to the experience of the game. So I love the fact that they're being original. When I first was seeing that it was a 3-on-3 league, I of course immediately likened it um to the big three, but it's not like the big three. It's definitely on its own wave. So shout out to them for doing it that way. And then I'm growing. It's growing on me, or it will grow on me as the games get better. So uh first games we had the Mist versus the Owls. The Owls won 80-84 with their Elam ended, and then Rose versus the Vinyl. We ended up seeing the Vinyl win 79-73. I think for what it's worth, because especially like Jay mentioned with the variety of players that are on the court, the main idea is that the games will be closer and also just a little bit more dynamic. You know what I mean? Because that Elam ending is gonna, make them go just a little bit harder. It's not so much of a downtime, especially when they're playing on like it's like a quarter court. It's still half. They're playing like a full court set, but it's a quarter size of the
22
normal.
feet. They
Yeah.
cut off 22 feet.
So yeah, so it's still picking. They're still picking up full. It's just a little bit shorter. So I like it, man. So big shouts out to everybody out there at Unrivaled. I can't wait till we get the opportunity to do that interview. You know what I'm saying? Jay know what time it is. We're gonna sneak up in there. Bobby, you know what time it is. We're gonna sneak in the door one way or another. You know what I'm saying? But as we continue on, man, this week right here.
Man, I get kicked out. They'd be like, "You don't ever bring him back."
This week, of course, has been full of surprises, and next week is also full of surprises as well. Um, as we all know, man, Martin Luther King Day is right around the corner. Monday marks another anniversary or another day that we celebrate the great Martin Luther King and his legacy of what he has done for not just us here as Americans, but for civil rights in general. Not just African Americans, but all Americans, you know. And more recently than not, the NBA has fully immersed itself into the Martin Luther King Day celebration. So on our days off, we get some pretty good basketball, man. So you know, let's see. Oh, clicked on the wrong one. Here we go. Boop. What does the NBA celebrating MLK Day mean to his legacy? And I got a little, you know what I'm saying? We can throw a little joint up there. I have a dream. You know what I'm saying? Look, I have a dream. Um, let's go, man. Well, I'll start off with just my own thoughts. In my wildest dreams, I could imagine that um what Martin Luther King was talking about is pretty much a microcosm of what's going on in the NBA right now. Of course, we all know that the NBA is predominantly African American, but while being African American, it is comprised of people from races and colors of from all across the world. You know, um, people who probably never would have met to be friends, partners, teammates, get a chance to do that. And it also gives people to, the opportunity. Many people, it's not even on the NBA level, but even on the minor level, like in the NCAA and other basketball leagues like the OT and now Unrivaled and with the WNBA, it gives them the opportunity to mix cultures, to mesh cultures and do a lot of the things that was mentioned in multitudes of his speeches and a lot of his memoirs as I got a chance to grow older. So when I think about Martin Luther King and what he's done or what his legacy means, the NBA is only enhancing it, especially when it comes to Atlanta. Jay knows Atlanta itself pretty much that weekend turns into the mecca of all things Martin Luther King. And then the Atlanta Hawks do an awesome job of, commemorating the day by throwing out the jersey, man. If y'all can see over here in the left, man, we got Trey Young in there throwing up the fist. And I think, in reality, I think that alternative jersey is one of the dopest. And then, of course, we got the Memphis jersey that had the sleeves. I don't think they're doing the sleeves this season, but I think they have yet to reveal what jersey they will be wearing. I'm excited to see the product that they put on the court. So, fellas, man, once again, as we think about the NBA celebrating MLK Day. Like, what does that mean to you guys in terms of the Martin Luther King legacy?
You know, other than the obvious, NBA wise, like you brought up Atlanta, and I would think of the one time that they had the choir um actually do the starting lineups. That was pretty dope. That was great. Um, but what I would say it means league wide, you know, it's one day, basically I hate to be I should have let Bobby go first because I don't feel like I'm gonna get shot down being too nice. I think NBA basically the best way I can say it is they pick a great day to pay homage to a great man, and also have some dope concepts, especially when it comes to the uniforms and like some of the teams pitching, especially when it comes to Memphis and Atlanta. You kind of want to them to show out a little bit, do a little something special. But I hate to say that for some reason I always pick something to go to on that day other than the game. And I'm not proud to say what it was, but uh damn, I feel terrible. Um
Just
I'm gonna
speak it,
put this
man.
in the chat. I'm gonna put this in the chat. But yeah, this is a great opportunity for the league to inspire change. Because still some people need to change. And oh Lord. So yeah, but I just really feel like what this year, what they're not playing is Atlanta's not playing this
Yeah,
time,
they
right?
are. They're in New York.
They're in New York. That's what I'm saying. Like they're
They're
not
not at
playing,
home.
right? I don't know. Just like Bobby was talking about, like, logistically, probably couldn't make it happen. I understand
No,
that.
because the college football national championship is that same night in
That's a
Atlanta.
tough. It is a tough
Yeah.
week, and yeah, and then you
And
also
I
have
said this earlier. I think that's part of the reason why they should move the primary national championship game to either the Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, whatever.
I don't know about the Rose Bowl.
Because if it does line up with MLK night, let Atlanta have that night. Because
Rose
the
Bowl
first
ain't
the
happening.
first game was in Atlanta, right? In '86, something like that.
Yeah.
I believe it was the first game was in Atlanta. So
Could be right.
make that the nightcap. Make the nightcap in Atlanta. Whoever they end up playing. And I get it. You don't want to have it conflict with the college football playoff, but if the playoff does it the right way, like I think they should, have the national championship game either in the Rose Bowl or Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, because it's a more historic venue for them in that regard. You can have, I mean, if you could make an NBA court in the Georgia Dome, do it in there, make it a spectacle.
Big facts. Big
That'd be
facts.
that'd be something. That'd be an idea.
You got
I know they're starting to put hockey games in the outdoor stadiums with the Winter Classic. Do something like that with the NBA, but put it in like football stadiums or something like that. Put it in a bigger venue.
I was just about to say they do that. They do that Hawaii game on like an aircraft carrier, and then NCAA. I don't know if they could do something similar to that in the NBA, but I like
I
these
mean,
ideas.
they're about to do a hockey game in an outdoor Florida stadium. That
Yeah,
makes zero sense in the world, but they're still going to find a way to do it.
the Winter Classic is done outside, right? Every year for hockey, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to put the Winter. I think 26. They're going to put the Winter Classic in Florida.
Well, you want to come outside and watch some hockey? We're gonna have you come outside and watch some hockey. Yeah, Bobby G, man, your thoughts on the MLK Day NBA celebration, man?
It's cool. I mean, obviously, you're a professional sports league. You're like limited in what you could do. But you know, it's cool. You're acknowledging the man and acknowledging his legacy. Um, and it's appreciated because I remember a time when it wasn't. So, and I mean, of the 4 major sports leagues, I believe the NBA is the most, I don't want to say conscious, but the most progressive. We'll say that of the 4 major sports league, the NBA is the most progressive. They try to handle any issues that arise within the Black community. We see how the Donald Sterling situation was handled. Adam Silver, to me, is probably the best commissioner of all the major sports leagues in America. So, you know, it's just nice to see that they're doing what they can as a sports league. But there's always something more or better you can do. What that is at the moment, I don't know. That'd be something Adam Silver and the Players Association could brainstorm on. I'd actually, I mean, why not just make it a full event, a full day's event? Why not get locked down that day in Atlanta? Let's have one game, and prior to that, let's have some sit downs. Like I remember during the during the bubble, there was a whole lot of conversations going on. And then after the bubble and after the pandemic, they stopped. Let's pick up those conversations again. Like let's do some community outreach in every NBA city. You know, let's do something, man. Let's get together and brainstorm, Adam. Like I know you're capable. Yeah, let's make it better. But again, it's good to see that they're doing what they can do as a sports league. Like I don't expect a sports league to fix America. but you know, you have the power to start the conversation and keep it going. You know, let's at least do that much.
I like that, bro. I like that. Let's at least get the conversation going. That's what we're gonna do here with the Rec Room, man. We you know how we do, man. Each and every week, we got a show on Tuesdays, man, headed by my guy Jay the MIC. We got Rec Room Sports, the podcast, Tuesday nights around 9:30. Make sure if you are out here in the streets, make sure you log in and subscribe to the Rec Room Group podcast. So big shouts out to Jay for putting that together. Of course, you know how we do, man. We got Bobby G in the building. We got AP Alan Peralez in the building. Paralysis, Pariah, all kinds of. And then, of course, we got me, man. Your mama's number 1 draft pick. We're going to keep it moving, man. So on top of, you know what's crazy, fellas? Y'all know what's crazy? So MLK is all about bringing people together of all races, colors, creeds, nationalities, you know, Jews and Gentiles, you know, white, black, Muslim, Jewish, all that stuff, right? Guess what's right after that in the NBA? Rivalry week, right? I can't even get the word. Rivalry week. Can anybody say it 5 times fast? Anybody?
Rivalry week.
That was the slowest fast I've ever seen.
Rivalry week.
Right, rivalry week. So right after we bring everybody together, we're gonna separate them and separate the men from the boys. So it's crazy. So NBA's rivalries week is January 21st to the 25th. All the rivalry matchups has heat on them. Like of all of the rivalry matchups, do you feel with any of them have? And Alan is here. Alan, the term heat comes from wrestling. Can you tell us what the word heat is in the words of wrestling connoisseurs such as yourself?
Basically, it's to have beef with one another, which you would think most teams would in today's day and age, but Don't know.
Got you. So thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Don't forget, Alan and our guy Sam are doing On the Mat on Saturdays after Raw. And what else?
And SmackDown. And then Saturdays our SmackDown show. Tuesdays our Monday Night Raw show. And he also can't say my last name properly, so
we got him linked there, man. So make sure y'all check out AP on the mat so we can get your wrestling in. So, like we were talking about, fellas, matchups that are built around rivalries. Now, this is what I wanted to do, kind of to make it a little bit of fun before we get into this week's line of rivalry matchups. We're going to talk about some old rivalries that I think are big in the NBA or have been big in the NBA at one point in time. So and I think we're gonna do a little bit of two things at one time because I skipped over the MLK Day games, but we're gonna go talk about those, some notable ones. But right now, as we talk about rivalry week, guys, some of these coming to mind. As you can see, I got some old ones right there on the top. And then I got some more current ones on the right side. So I got the old with the new. I see Jay Smile. I think he notices something to his recollection. You know what I'm saying on the screen. And then of course Bobby G. You know what I'm saying. I thought about you too, man. Look at that. Look at that. But somehow, some way. So when we think about older rivalries, fellas, what rivalry comes to mind that was at the top of the list at one point in time? It could be the 80s, 90s. What's a good rivalry that you remember? And it really could be from your favorite team, Jay or Bobby or Alan. What's one that comes to mind?
I'll go with one that was kind of left incomplete. How about early 2000s Pacers Pistons? Like
we had to stop that one.
Yeah, we saw what happened there, but
yeah, my boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of what happened, like we got left with an incomplete ending, because that was essentially the end of that Pacers team, and I feel like we got cheated out of the final chapter of that book. But while it was going, man, like those rosters.
I was going to say that's part of the reason why Sam became a Pacers fan was because of Malice at the Palace.
Like those rosters, you look at the players that are involved in that rivalry, man. Ron Artest, Jalen Rose balling in Indiana, had his best years with the Pacers. Jermaine O'Neal was coming to his own as a superstar. You had the Pistons, obviously, therefore Rasheed, Rip, Chauncey, Tayshaun. Yeah, they were ugly games and people didn't like them, but man, every player on both rosters left it all on the floor every time they faced each other, whether it was playoffs or regular season.
That's a good one right there. That's a good one. What's my boy's name? Played the point guard back then for that team.
Jamal Tinsley. Oh man, I couldn't. Jamal Tinsley had the most craziest jumper on NBA Live back then. I don't know if y'all played NBA. Tinsley jumper would be on and then just magically. But shout out to that Indiana Pacers team. That's a good one. AP man, you like a team. Who would their rivals be currently? If we know which one, go ahead and tell us all about it, Al.
I mean, if you want to go back in the day, you could say San Antonio for sure, because the Spurs team and that the late 2000s, 2010s, that was like the gatekeeper team of the West. If you really wanted to be the team, you kind of had to go through two teams. You had to go through the Spurs and you had to go through the Lakers. Well, specifically Kobe and the Lakers. Let's be honest. But that Spurs team was more like a gatekeeper team. It was that the old guard kind of on their way out against the young up and coming Thunder team. That was always fun to watch. You could throw Dallas in there, especially the year where they won the national the NBA championship, where they basically went through the who's who gauntlet of the NBA playoffs that year, which was just crazy to see that Dirk just basically beat everybody by himself.
Right.
But I mean, for me, the teams I always did not like facing. Obviously, San Antonio was one of them. I mean, in the 2010s, it was Portland was definitely another team, especially when Dame was getting hot. I can't really say the Clippers because the Clippers are just kind of the Clippers.
They always
Golden State definitely was up there because of not only losing the 3-1 lead to Golden State, but then the very next year Kevin Durant joining Golden State and that whole mess between him and Russ the first time that they met as opponents. You could definitely put Golden State on that list. Oh, there's a lot of intriguing matchups that we've had over the years. If I had to pick one, it would probably be San Antonio because it's kind of continuing now with Chet and Wemby, so that's kind of reigniting a little bit. And even we're seeing them play Dallas tonight. Dallas is another rivalry because of last year Western Conference Finals, both teams coming in really hot. Dallas got the better of us as they are more of the veteran team. So it's that same roadblock. You got to beat the veteran team to get to where you want to go, and Dallas is kind of that roadblock for us now.
Got you, man. Hey Jay, you know what? I don't even got to ask you, man. I know you got a couple in mind, especially when it comes to your beloved Portland Trailblazers. What's a couple rivals from the heyday, man?
I'm not gonna go there, but how about like you have flashed up, Knicks Heat. At one time we had the Celtics and the Sixers back in the Dr. J and Larry Bird days. At one time, the Rockets and the Lakers when they had Sampson and Kareem
It's a good one.
going at each other. I'm just trying to name some that people don't necessarily even Allen here. Let's go with the Rockets in San Antonio. That was pretty consistent. I was thinking about the year. That year, the Clippers went to the Western Conference Finals with Blake Griffin and CP3 and company. I can't remember who they were playing. They had Coutinho. No, this was another time. They had Coutinho Mobley though. Anybody remember that year?
Clippers had Coutinho Mobley.
Yeah, the Clippers.
Yeah,
had
right.
Coutinho
He
Mobley.
got drafted by the Clippers. Had Coutinho Mobley.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what year. I was just thinking about to create a small rivalry, but Seattle and Seattle and Golden State used to be a little rivalry, something of that nature. Golden State and
I was going to say
Portland
soon to be Seattle and Oklahoma City once
had
the Supersonics come back.
yeah, the Heat. Like I said, Heat and Knicks seems like the Heat and the Pacers. That little quick, I thought Bobby was gonna bring that up, but then he brought up the Malice in the Palace. So I was like, damn, yeah, forgot about that. Of course,
How
that did get
about
cut short.
how about everybody in the '90s in the Eastern Conference, where it was Jordan, it was the Pacers, it was the Knicks in the day, that the Eastern Conference was at one of its strongest points in history during the '90s, and even though yes, Michael Jordan won 6 championships and was basically dominant that decade, it wasn't an easy go through because those Eastern Conference teams back in those days were stacked. So
Yeah,
I would say the Eastern Conference as a whole in the '90s was a huge, big rivalry.
I'll second that. Jay, man, I know you was in the middle of closing it out. What else were you saying?
Oh, just a couple of others. Pistons and Pacers. Uh, every division was pretty much a rivalry if you really look at it. Like the Bulls and the Pacers always had something going on, and look at the times where we're talking about the Bulls and the Cavs. Um,
Yeah.
and for in different time frames. You know what I mean? So they still kind of exist, but it's like we were talking about earlier. It's more of like a player thing now. I think you can kind of reinvigorate some of those, rekindle some of those rivalries, especially with Wemby here, Wemby, and imagine if the Pelicans actually do kind of get it going. Create a good matchup one day and gets a little physical. That might brew up a whole new rivalry. So um, I think they're all about. It's just once I think the competitiveness will come back, especially when you're talking about like who could be the best player in the NBA. Is it Wemby? I think when you start putting these comparisons out here with these young guys and knowing that people like LeBron and Steph going to be leaving the game, some of these rivalries are going to really intensify because some of these guys really going to be saying like, "Oh, shoot, it's my turn." So in order for it to be, these guys are gone, so I got to take it. And so I don't know. We'll see what comes about some of these rivalries that used to exist. I think they're still there. It's just the competitiveness has to revamp. That's all.
All right, man. You hit the nail on the head, man. I definitely was going to talk about the competitive aspect of the game between players and between teams as well, man. It's more so. I I don't want to say it's been nullified, but the idea that you can reach out to people and everybody's watching your every move, I think is playing into what everybody does because that like PR in every one of these people who want to be a superstar is a huge deal, so nobody really wants to be seen as Charles Oakley. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be Dale. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be Anthony Mason. They don't want to be those guys, where technically you get a moniker like possibly being a goon or something like that. You know
A
what I
dude
mean?
that swung at LeBron could easily be
Isaiah, what was his name? Isaiah Stewart.
yeah, there you go. He was ready to go at it last night.
I mean,
So
That's
look,
what I'm saying. Anybody against
hey
Draymond Green, he'll
man,
fight
there's
anybody.
nothing wrong with playing
just
with
about to
Legos,
say,
man.
Uncle Draymond gets a lot of flack for being as competitive as he is. Somebody I think that got relegated to obscurity to a degree because of his affinity for squaring up. Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is in Utah because nobody else wants to deal with him on and off the court. But I think his personality fits that team. It gives him a little bit of that rough and tumble. And y'all brought it up a lot of the things I was going to mention, man. I've talked about it on several occasions, man. My father's a huge Knicks fan. When it was a Heat Knicks game, like I really couldn't talk to him until the game was over. I really couldn't chime in and say, "Oh, Dad, who's that?" You know what I'm
Man, you liable to catch your
saying?
ass cutting after that game. Dude,
I
his
got you on the
song.
rekindle, Jay. On the one that could be rekindled is Cavs Pistons. As it stands right now, we're the 1 seed in the East. The Pistons are the 8 seed, and it can rekindle because, as y'all know, we fired our coach over the summer, hired Kenny Atkinson.
Mhm.
JB is now the coach of the Pistons.
And they playing too, and
Yeah, he got him playing. He's doing the same, basically doing the same thing for them he did for us.
they are playing. Shout out to JB
So
Bickerstaff.
that could be one that kind of gets going again if we cross in the playoffs.
I like that. I like that too because I think these up and coming teams are going to be seeing a lot. These up and coming stars are going to be seeing a lot of each other. And one last one I want to throw out there is it was they kind of started it last year, and it was kind of one of those. I think they did it like kind of like how at this point in time we see OKC sticks together, and that's like their thing to be friendly and be cool. I remember a year or two ago where it was like the Grizzlies versus everybody, and it kind of got started with Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks. where it didn't matter who it was. They constantly were talking about how much of the smoke they wanted. They constantly were talking about it's ain't no love in Memphis. It's the grindhouse. But those Memphis teams who started it with Zebo and Tony Allen, Paul Gasol, you know what I'm saying? And of course, somehow, some way, we still get to see glimpses of it right now. And when it was the Grindhouse, y'all remember that? The Grindhouse? Rudy
The
Gay,
gang house.
like those teams were very, very rough and rugged in their style of play. And I think to some degree we have to thank them for embedding that type of what is
Gang
it?
life.
Fabric. They got that those teams embedded that type of fabric, that type of ground floor to what's going on right now. And look, I don't know what it is, but for some odd reason, when John Moran is healthy, everybody feels like they got a little more a little more umph in their step. They want to puff out their chest a little more. They want to foul just a little harder just because John Moran is there. I don't know if it I don't know why what goes on with that, but hey, big shouts out to the
Not
Memphis
that you bring him up.
the Memphis Grizzlies. Uh-oh.
Not that you bring him up.
Uh-oh.
Well, first, a rivalry I'm surprised nobody mentioned. Remember Sacramento Lakers, early 2000s as well.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was all the time.
Bro, bro. I don't care if it counted or not. He put that joint on Wemby's head.
Yeah. Hey, Grizzlies versus everybody, bro. Grizzlies versus everybody.
I really appreciated that dunk because I always tell people that there's an underrated attribute that's funny. As I'm saying, we're talking about this, he comes on the screen. It's like a underrated attribute of South Carolina guards, man. You will get your ass dunked on by a 5'10" dude. Quick.
True that.
And he's out here showing it a lot, even though he's a little taller than 5'10", but he shows it constantly, consistently. How I always looked at little guys from this area and be like, damn, like he could get up like for a guard, bro. Like I think this dude would like go to the league and like actually dunk on centers. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny to actually watch somebody do it from the same area I'm talking about. But yeah, Memphis, and now that's the thing. Like when I was talking about players leaving, I haven't watched the matchup between Houston and Memphis, but might be an issue one day.
Yeah,
Dylan might try to go too far, and so let's see. Because I think it's only because Ja hasn't been healthy. I haven't looked at the schedule like that, but look out for that.
Yeah, speaking of Houston, that game last night was a good game. Can't even lie about that. What I'm saying, and trust me, I think we're gonna touch a little more on Houston going forward. And man, you brought it up too. Listen, big time rivalry. Almost anybody in the Lakers, but definitely Sacramento and them Lakers matchup. When they was going in there with them cowbells, them joints was crazy, man. All right, so moving on.
If you want to go back in the day, what your Celtics and Lakers? Bird and Magic.
I didn't want to say
that's the original.
That don't even count. Celtics Lakers back with Magic and Bird, or Celtics Lakers with the not so good teams with the Lakers with Nick Van Exel and what's my guy
Eddie George
I'm trying
or Eddie Jones.
Those teams was really out here doing some things with Kenny the point guard from New Jersey,
Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson. Yeah, even though those were and that was Nick Van Exel, Kenny Anderson battles. You know what I'm saying? Those were different at the time. But let's continue on, man. So one thing I wanted to bring up was something I think everybody will get a little fun out of. So some notable MLK Day performances, right? Because of course we were talking about rivalry week. And
rivalry.
Yeah, I know it's gonna last forever. Rivalry week and Martin Luther King Day. So some notable performances, and one or two I know you guys should know about, right? Big deal, little deal, and this was one of them right here, right? I think this was one of the ones I want to bring up, and let's try and think back to when this happened. There was a player in a place that we're all familiar with, and for some odd reason, they're not there anymore, and we're not going to get into why. But this player dropped 61 points on January 20th to set the record for points. Jay, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yes. Wait, you said he's not there anymore. Uh, damn, did James Harden?
Just say
I
your
get
name, man.
he also raps.
Say your name, man.
Say his name and he appears.
So crazy, Jay, man. To be real with you,
No
Damian Lillard
idea.
61, which is the most. It's the record-setting total for points during an Martin Luther King Day game. I did not know this. I thought
Neither did I.
it was against the Warriors. The Blazers won 129 to 124 on January 20th, 2020. Dame went
Yeah.
out there and got a career high,
Next.
a franchise record in points, a franchise record in three-pointers, the most points
Wait.
scored in an NBA or the NBA that season, and the most points ever in an MLK game was done by none other than Dame Dollar himself. Another notable one. Boom.
Thank you,
This
Whit.
this
Appreciate that.
I want to I got something in there for every little bit of everybody. This player was out is Washington favorite. Got his own podcast now, and at this time he was playing for the team in Washington, and
Gilbert Arenas.
he won. Yeah, there we go. You got it, Gilbert Arenas.
I know
Hit,
him.
yeah,
You know the
right.
other guy.
Hit the game winner against the Jazz at the time. It's a great picture of the buzzer beater he hit on our guy Darren Williams, on Andre Kirilenko and Darren Williams. Wizards 113 to 117. Arenas drops 51. Another one that I think is kind of notable, and I'm just scrolling down here, right? This is when I think the rivalry between coasts began to spark as one.
Biggie and Pop.
Not it's kind of Biggie and Pac. It is kind of Biggie and Pac. But it's Warriors Cavs, bro. Warriors Cavs. Somehow, some way, the Splash Brothers came out and did the number on Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the streets, wilding out. Klay Thompson led all scorers with 26. Steph Curry did 20. KD had 21. And Uncle Draymond somehow got a triple double. Now, if you know Draymond got a triple double, you know that somehow, some way, the Splash Brothers pulled out the W on that one. And then one for a player that is no longer in the league, but represented a place that I think is on a resurgence. The Charlotte Hornets, man. Y'all know if I'm talking about the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm talking about before 2020, and I'm talking about this player, what player am I talking about? Anybody got an idea?
Repeat the question.
Okay, if I'm thinking about the Charlotte Hornets before 2020, right before the year 2020, and he dropped 51. Who am I talking
Gerald
about?
Wallace.
That's Kemba.
That's okay. I was just about to say that I thought Gerald Wallace my first time seeing it too, but it was Kemba Walker, man. Kemba Walker dropped.
Already got Kemba.
Yeah, January 18th, 2016, Kemba goes for 52. It's a trio of score marks. So of course, that game went into double overtime. Once again, this game featured the Utah Jazz. The Charlotte Hornets won 124-119 in double overtime. Walker went 16 for 34 from the field, 6-11 for three, and 14 of 15 from free throws. That's crazy, man. Everybody forgets how much a walking bucket Kemba was. And then last but not least, it's a 90s game. Y'all ready for this one? Y'all ready for this one? This is what I'm just going to throw out there randomly. So it's the Knicks and the Timberwolves. Who scored the most points out of this one?
Players or teams?
Players.
Knicks, Timberwolves in 96.
94.
Allen Houston.
Mm,
That was
no,
my answer. I saw this one when I first saw this one yesterday. I thought that would have been my answer too. It's not Allen Houston.
Or
nah, it's Latrell Sprewell. No,
It's not
no.
Sprewell. It's not Sprewell.
Hold up.
Remember, 94. 94.
Marbury was already gone.
No.
Sorry, I was a year old at this time, so
This
I'm
is
not
how we
quite.
Okay, so I know who
But
this
it's-
is. This is
Tom Gugliotta.
no 94.
94.
Okay, can you just give us a Knicks player or
Oh no,
Timberwolves?
don't
It's a Knicks player. That's why this. Okay,
don't say Chris Childs.
everybody.
Nah.
So what happened was this was when we were getting ready to kind of say goodbye to Patrick Ewing. So, but we just didn't know he was going to go to Seattle and Orlando at this time. So Marcus Camby was getting ready to start making points and playing his role as well. So in '94, right? Patrick Ewing went for 34 and 11. John Starks went for 27 and 11 assists, and they defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Garden, 106-94. And during that game, Ewing became the 15,000th, the 15th player, the first in Knicks player history to reach 15,000 career points as a milestone. And of course, Patrick Ewing, I think, is leading scorer on the Knicks with like 23,000 and some change. So big shouts out to Bernie and Patrick Ewing at that time. Well, so and then coming up after that, man, it's a crazy thing to think about the performances that are normally going on MLK Day weekend. So we got some great games to look at when it comes to Martin Luther King Day weekend this week. So Monday, of course, everybody got the day off.
Nope,
No,
I gotta work that day.
oh man, you got to work. Okay, well, don't worry, Alan. We'll watch basketball for you.
I was working that day as well.
You'll be working it. We need to give away a prize. Bobby, you got to give us like 2 hints. What do you do now?
2 hints.
2 hints.
I can't. That's kind of difficult without giving it away.
Oh man. Okay, got you.
Let's just say I'm currently doing it.
You're currently doing it. Okay. If you don't know, we all are trying to figure out Bobby's employment.
I mean, you want to talk about rivalries? We got Hawks, Knicks, on that day, Monday.
Yeah, there we go. I was just getting to the games on
This
the
is my second time doing it today.
This is your second time doing it today. Shout out to you doing what you do to get to that bread, man. So we got a couple good games. So of course, first up we got Mavericks, Hornets, Pistons, Rockets, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Hawks, Knicks, Suns, Cavs, Celtics, Warriors to close out the day. Of those matchups, fellas, of course, we got a couple of them that really could mean something in terms of seeding in the Eastern Conference. Which matchups are we thinking about to stand out for us?
There's two more on there with too.
I'm thinking about those. Yeah, it's like what? Let me see. Let me get to the bottom.
You got like Jazz, Pelicans, and then the Bulls, Clippers.
Yeah, I didn't really want to talk
like 8 games.
Pelicans and Bulls, Clippers.
But so yeah, I agree. Some of those games are just like, okay, they're here.
Yeah, Jazz, Pelicans, Bulls, Clippers. I mean, we got to give them respect though for sure. Out of those games, fellas, which ones are we thinking are some standouts in terms of meaning something as the season goes forward?
What about the Rockets, Pistons? You got two young teams battling it out. I'd be intrigued by that matchup.
I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to see if Trae Young can throw up a good bit of buckets against the Knicks on a special day, and probably even protest and say, "I don't even know why we ain't in Atlanta, man. That's why I had to come throw up 50 on these bums and walk off." That would be dope.
Mm.
There's one game on that schedule that is can't miss TV, and it's Minnesota and the Grizzlies. Man, come on, Ja, and let's get it, man.
Yeah, and just dunked on your boy Precious not too long ago. And bodied him. So yeah. I think that's a good one too. I think all of them have some sort of I guess personified this game.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna keep it real, man. Down here at the bottom, the late night game, that 10:30. Kawhi has participated in a few games, and he's actually looked pretty decent on the offensive end of the court. One of the main things that it was
Who's
very
that?
exciting to see. We say he's not
I said, who's that? Is that the guy they drafted in the second round?
Kawhi.
Yeah, I've never heard of this dude.
I was gonna say. So you're saying when he actually plays, he actually doesn't look half bad.
Right. What we're hoping is exactly what it looks like to have him play full time and actually have a whole moment where he's not on the bench and or hurt, as if to say, "Hey, look, I'm here and I'm back." And it could be, a moment in time in which he makes it on MLK Day. Everybody likes the bright lights, especially in LA, and this that moment.
Think Kawhi's coming home, boy.
You don't think Kawhi's coming? No.
Nah, man, he's not showing up to the party, man. Unfortunately.
Dang. I was hoping, man, he do it for the represent the injustice. You know what I'm saying? Represent for the people. But hey, Kawhi, we still love you here on In the Hoop. We hoping that it gets better. But as we move on, man, go ahead and talk
about for three of us. I'm pretty sure of it.
And then okay, so on top of that, right, as we talk about MLK Day going into rivalry week, there are some big matchups that we're just gonna go over really quickly. Rivalry week, yes. Bless you.
I'm sorry. I'm just practicing just in case.
So these are the ones we got slated between the 21st and of course the 25th. These are looking good in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, a couple of these actually could turn into some very detrimental games because they have some playoff implications. Definitely hinging upon winning or losing. So I'm interested to see what will happen with these. So somehow, some way, we got to look at the Knicks and the Nets. Of course, we love the Subway Series, even in baseball. Shout out to Allen and the baseball crew. We got Boston Celtics on the 23rd, and Lakers, of course. Lakers Celtics. We always love that. I think we mentioned New Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies earlier today, and that's going to be on the 24th. And then down there, close to the bottom, I wish they would do Lakers and Nuggets right now because I don't care what anybody says. Russ is on a tear with every. If you played in LA, Russ is coming for you. I promise. And then right now we got Boston and Dallas towards the end of that because of course that matchup is always going to become a rivalry, especially since we got a chance to beat them in the finals. And then LA Golden State, man, we got to see we got to see LeBron and Steph Curry at least one more time. Any one of these jump out to you boys?
I mean, Miami, Milwaukee, with the history of the Bucks blowing playoff games against Miami in the past, that could be intriguing. But is Jimmy Butler still going to be in Miami at that point?
Ooh, hold on, wait. Is Jimmy Butler going to be in Miami? And the trade dominoes have begun to fall, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be covering that in the coming week as well. So I can't wait to start talking about who's getting traded, who's going where. It's more so for me as I'm thinking. We've seen a lot of these matchups, but the ones that are going to be heading towards playoff contention, like on the 22nd, the Kings and the Warriors. The Kings are not to be slept on, and of course, the Golden State Warriors are still trying to put together the pieces to a winning roster every day. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. And then you brought up Heat Bucks. Alan, was that right?
Yeah, Heat Bucks. I mean, it's not a bad memory per se, unless you're a Milwaukee fan, because you just can't stand the Heat. Because I mean, twice as an 8 seed, getting knocked out. Twice as an 8 seed, they knocked the Bucks out of the playoffs. I'd be a little bit frustrated at that team. But then again, like I said, is Jimmy Butler even going to be on that team by the time that game rolls around?
Big facts.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Is Jimmy Butler? Where will Jimmy be? Bobby G, looking at the game rivalry week. Pick me one out, man, that you think really means something.
Lakers Warriors. Not because it could be a good game, but we don't know what's gonna happen with LeBron after the season. So the Warriors and Lakers will play 3 more times. So this would be one of 3 more opportunities to see LeBron and Steph go at it. So
yeah, gotta pay attention to that one. Jay, one of these rivalry matchups, I know is one. I think is one I know you got your eye on. Which one is that?
None of them, B. None of them. I'm sorry. I'm checked out, man. Can't do this NBA thing no more, man.
Oh man, you go.
Just come on. I will make you an honorary Cavs fan so you can enjoy the season.
What, man? No, I'm just here to watch a good game, man. I can't. I don't really like any of them.
Oh man,
How about this? I would also say the Lakers and the what the Lakers going against the
Warriors.
the Warriors.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they got
want
Lakers on there. Yep, definitely.
I want it to be the worst game of the day.
The worst game of the day.
Yeah, I want it to be the worst game of the day, and because it's like I get it, man. I get the star power involved, but I'm gonna be honest. Like there are a lot of other matchups that I would rather see in the NBA than the Lakers and the Warriors. I would like to see. Give me the Spurs and give me the Spurs and the Grizzlies. That's what's on right now. Give me that one. Give me Spurs and the the Spurs already playing somebody, but it's just I'm just not enthused. I'm tired of LeBron and stuff right now. I'm just tired of that, man. What can they do? Seriously, what can they do that's gonna surprise you?
You never know, man. The NBA is fantastic.
Man, come on, man. Who you think you are, man? Damn Marcellus, some shit, man.
I mean, I guess the thing would be like to compare it to when that last, and of course I wasn't there to see it, but those last couple of Magic Bird matchups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those last couple of Bird Magic matchups. You know what I'm saying? Were probably cool. When the last couple of Isaiah Thomas Magic Johnson matchups.
I think what Jay's trying to say is it's like the equivalent of 2 old men fighting for the last pudding cup.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Is what it's
LeBron James.
Great analogy, Alan. Great analogy.
Yeah, like if we put Scott Cole and Keith Angle and like in a room with 1 Jello cup left and 2 spoons.
Somebody got to come out alive.
1 cup and 2 spoons. They ain't even got to fight. They got to be 1 cup and 1 spoon. 1 spoon.
Nah, you're missing the whole point, man. You know what you could do with a spoon? It's like they're asking the NFL combine, man.
I was gonna say that Thursday you got Dallas going to OKC. That could be a good one. If we want to talk about the whole week, yeah, Dallas going to OKC on Thursday.
I feel you on that one. Of course. Go ahead.
Is
Celtics Lakers Thursday too. Lakers.
That's one that I was going to bring out there too. But I'm really looking at January 24th. and I'm straight up thinking
Oh my God.
Pelicans, Grizzlies, man. The two South Carolinians, both on the same AAU team. One got picked here, one got picked there, and they both have been. I don't want to say that they both have been MIA, but they both made the wave happen, and then injuries took over. I'm interested to see.
Zion ain't made no damn wave happen. You made the wave happen at Popeyes.
Oh, yeah.
That's about it.
Wow, not the wave happening on Popeye.
What has Zion Williamson done special in the NBA?
Wow.
Nothing.
I knew it was coming. Do we even get to that?
Yes.
Oh.
Ja, yes. He okay, I got you. He took a team to the playoffs rookie year. Like, he's making way. He was in the MVP conversations year 2. He made waves happen.
That's a grown boy.
Hey, listen, man.
What about Pistons Magic? Could that start something up? You got
Pistons Magic is up and coming matchup that nobody's going to talk about, and we're kind of going to get into that closer to the bottom.
I mean, you got Powell who just came back. Cade Cunningham's been playing really well.
You see how you're naming players? I want you to name them players 2 segments from now. You got the right idea, Alan. So, y'all remember, right? We just luckily we just now said Zion Williamson, right? So Zion I'm not knocking the young man. I love the fact that he likes to speak his mind. I think somehow, some way, he doesn't understand that there's microphones in his face and people are going to be dissecting everything he says every time he gets an opportunity to talk. So at the end of one of the games recently in the last week or so, Zion was asked about his favorite arenas to play in. Yeah, he named a couple. He named some things. He was like, "Oh yeah, I love Atlanta, man. Oh, I love playing Atlanta. The hip hop culture, that black culture in Atlanta, blah blah blah. Yeah, man, I love to play in the Garden. The Garden is funny because the court is so lit, and they playing that New York music, and they playing Biggie and Pac in Brooklyn. But then you can't see the crowd. But then when the lights come on, he was just naming places all around the NBA. And then he closed by saying, "But my favorite place to play is in New Orleans. You know that, right? Y'all know that? My Smoothie King Center. I love the Smoothie King Center. It's my favorite place to play, right? So, does Zion comments on where he enjoys playing lead you to think of likely trade destinations, or is he just being a young man? He just enjoy playing ball. Like,
I gotta go first on this one, man. No, it's not places. It's nothing to do with basketball. Look at those places: New York, Chicago, Atlanta. What do they have in common?
Wait, Buckhead flu symptoms? What?
Great food cities.
Oh, okay. I thought you. Okay.
Like, come on, man. Look at it. The best teams in the NBA right now are like Cleveland, OKC. Okay, I'll give you the Knicks. They're doing their thing right now. But the best teams in the league right now don't reside in places that are known for food. Who wants to play for the Bulls right now? Really?
What the Bulls? What Chicago got?
Deep dish
pizza. They got Italian food,
bro.
Like, man, come on, man.
Bro. Chicago has a lot, bro.
I'm saying, bro.
Dogs, brats, those kielbasa.
Yes. Italian beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The dipped in the hey, man. Come on, man.
The cabbage and man, dude.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you, Zion. I'm right there with you. I'm a big back with you. But I don't get played to play basketball.
Yo, sir, you can be 400 pounds if you move to one of those.
I'm saying, like, come on,
bad
man.
enough though, man. If he can hold it down, sort of. And I'm talking about his food. Damn. In New Orleans, then man,
it's all that gumbo, man. It's all that gumbo.
Yeah, man. He's just tired of seafood. He want to try a new type of cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Ain't nothing got nothing to do with being traded, man. And honestly, because it's capped, because we need to check his schedule to see if he's even played in these arenas. Like,
wait a minute.
Has he ever played a game against the Hawks in Atlanta? We don't know.
Jay, you know what he was doing in Atlanta. You know, 'cause this is the wild boy.
I'm
Zion
saying.
boy.
Has he ever played in you? Like, we don't know where you played on. You missed so much basketball. We don't know.
Park Avenue flu.
Yeah, you know, hey, listen, when he had them interviews with DeJounte and everybody was like, yeah, tell us about Houston. Oh, I love Houston. Yeah, I love playing in Houston. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't about the food. That wasn't about the food. How did we know what that was?
And he wants to go to Brooklyn, Brooklyn, so he can room with Ben Simmons so they can exchange notes on how to miss games and get paid.
That's tough.
No, man, how we keep pulling off this heist that we got going on, man.
How's that book? How's that book with Ben Simmons selling? By the way, Bobby, how's that book doing?
Oh, it's excellent, going excellent. Like I say, Zion's gonna co-author the next book that I write.
Jay, man, when you heard about Zion's destinations of where he would like to play, where he enjoys playing ball, were you thinking of trade destinations, or were you thinking of what we, or were you think, or is there something else that may be tied into Zion's favorite destinations?
In the middle of the question, I was thinking food. I was like, why is this person asking this? Is this person really trying to get to this man? Probably possibly saying, you talking about like food places, or you talking about, I think, who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows what his I don't know, man. I'm confused about him, man. I honestly I'm just going. They just Houston.
There we
Let
go.
him go to Houston. Just
Let
let
him
him go to Houston, man.
Let him go.
Just let him go to Houston.
Shout out
No.
to the Pink House in Houston.
No,
Yes.
don't.
He'd be
Yes.
giving James Harden
Yes.
a call.
No,
Give
he
him
won't. He'll
everything
be
he
a
wants.
Trill Burger every day.
Great.
Hey,
Let him.
he got a vegan burger that I heard is
They
really
got
good.
vegan
He'd be
burgers,
in the
man.
line in Fuddruckers all the
Let
time.
him live.
You know,
Let him live, man. I
even
mean,
though we're
he
joking
wants to
about.
be Oliver Miller, man. He
Let
wants
me
to be
say this.
Oliver Miller.
I'm saying this. Zion looks really, really good, as if he's paying attention to his diet right now, or a dietitian.
Man,
He came back.
stop.
He came back and he looks thinner than normal. Thinner
Everybody
than
says that.
he's
You ain't
more,
see him in 2
That's
months.
thinner
Every
than
time you
normal.
see him, you gonna say that.
he looks more trim than normal.
Think
So
about
make
that,
sure about
yo.
his diet and his nutritionist,
Wait,
because
think
it's
about
working.
that. You don't think if you don't see somebody for like 2 months at a time, every time you see him, you gonna be like, yo, man, you trim down a little bit. Either it's gonna be one way or the other, man.
Whit,
Like,
they've been telling me that at work for like the past 3 months, and I'm still around like 280, 290. So stop
I
it.
mean, you know, you guys might have a point. We don't see Zion enough to
yeah, every
see.
time you see him, you're gonna be like, hey,
Because
man.
he always in line.
Oh man, fellas, we gonna keep.
This trader's out here like, give me a sit up. He's like, I don't do ups, I do downs.
Wow, y'all tripping. We ain't gonna kill Zion too much more, man. So make sure everybody like, share, subscribe, man. This is
That was a bad joke, man.
big shout out to Bobby. Y'all know what time it is, man. When we talk about the Cavs in Vegas, we gotta reference Bobby G. Big shouts out to my guy Jada MIC. You see him right there. He is in Portland. Locker
That
room
was funny.
now. Nobody's in Portland. He's ready to clean your house. And then, of course, big shout out to AP Alan Parallels. Alan, man, we appreciate you for being in the building like normal. Big Ron, what it do, my dog? We see you, man. We see you, man. Oh,
What's up, Rob?
I wanted to get you real quick. Man. So we talked about this kind of to a degree. We could talk about this a little more, because we all know old school home court advantages are different than new school home court advantages. Like, best home court advantages, and where would you play? Since we talk about Zion and his possible food craving destinations, where is the destination that you would sign? Where would you sign the contract at, based around just not just the environment, not just
You missed a lot, Ron. You missed a lot.
yeah, yo, having a ball. We get to the end now. But matter of fact, Ron, where would you play if you could join a team? Hey, Bobby G, where's your favorite destination, either to go watch a game, or where would you like to play at?
if I could play, I would. Where would I like to play? I mean, obviously we're doing current, right?
Yeah, currently.
Honestly, you know what? I would play in Philly. They're playing Philly.
Philly got a good home court advantage. I know they fans are
Yeah, but the
Philly
fans also let you know when you messing up, and like I feel that for me that would keep me motivated. Like I like that because it's
Philly
one of
fans
those
are the
cities that
worst.
when you rolling, you know they rolling with you, and when you messing up,
Right.
they rolling with you. But it's only for you to get better. It's not like, and then of course if you just trash, they're gonna run you out of town. But you know I appreciate that.
Right. Jay, man, your court. Where would your destination be for a couple
Yo,
M's?
oh man, I mean, I would love to play in Atlanta.
I saw that.
I'm
We
sorry.
don't
I
even
mean,
fly.
if with imps, man,
Yeah, he just want to get some wings after the game. That's all.
nah, some legs, some
Yeah,
drums. How
yeah.
about no? But not seriously. I would say before my wretched team, I would say, and even back in the Seattle days, I would have said any like team in the Northwest.
I like that. That's a good one right there.
Um,
Western teams always for some reason they always get a lot of love, man. It's and even Utah. Even Utah. If go to
nah,
I hate the uniforms.
they're not Northwest, but also like no, I'm straight on that. I'm straight on the Utah. Um, yeah, maybe even Minnesota.
maybe
Uh,
even Minnesota. I like that. I like that.
man, yo, man, great, Ron. I'm glad Tinder worked out for you after all.
Yeah.
Um, cool.
Tell Rosie I said hey.
Wow.
Yeah,
Alan,
man.
man, where's
Damn.
your destination, man? Where you want to go ball at, dog? Where you hooping?
I mean, for starters, we got a great home court here, but that's beside the point. The answer is obvious. It's Madison Square Garden,
Oh man, the
the
Mecca.
world's most famous arena.
Man.
I would love. I would hate playing. I would hate playing for the Knicks, but I would love playing in the Garden. I'll say that.
Yo, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, Alan.
Lord
I
have
didn't mean to
mercy.
bust out laughing like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't
If
please
I had
don't
a
put that on
destination, bro, of course, man, home with the Boston Celtics would be great.
Oh,
Um,
hell no.
the Madison Square Garden. If I see my father see me play at Madison Square Garden, that'd be cool. But like just on some personal, I got a chance to do one of those virtual tours back when they did the renovation. I got a chance to view the Dallas Mavericks locker room while I was at South Carolina State University. The Dallas Mavericks facilities when they did the renovations, like right before Dirk won the ring because they wanted to bring in players. And Mark Cuban's spent
Damn,
like
you saw the video games, yo? And
yeah, it was
everything?
Mark Cuban's yeah. This was when like PlayStation and
Yeah, you
Xbox
put them on.
the only thing they out, it was smoking. And Mark Cuban spent like I want to say it was like 15 million on just the locker room amenities and itself, and it was state of the art. And that is what I think got like the players like Jason Terry, Sean Marion, Monte Ellis, a couple other guys to join the eventually championship winning um Dallas Mavericks team, man. So big shouts out to Mark Cuban, man. I would love to play for an owner that could tell me what to do with my money when I'm retired. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely play for Dallas. That would be my destination. And then real quick, man, before we get to the end of the show, because we get close to the top of that second hour, man. Alan made a big reference to some players who are going to be playing on MLK Day that don't get a lot of love, man. Because right now, I think the bottom half of the Eastern and Western conferences are respectively got a lot of log jams, especially at positions like point guard. In the West Coast, it's a big log jam at center. Right now, who really plays power forward anymore? Nobody knows. Everybody's a forward technically. You know what I'm saying? So here goes one because we're gonna get closer into this in the coming weeks as we get closer to the All-Star break and we discuss the new All-Star rules and all of this foolishness that they all of a sudden implemented. We're gonna talk about that probably next week. Um, I can see it from a mile away. Way too early All-Star team snubs. Now, this is what I want y'all to do, right? I want you to preface that means I want you before you say the name of who you think will probably get snubbed from the All-Star team, right? And you might have some stats to go along with it. I want you to say, I can see it from a mile away, and then tell me who and why. Okay. So Alan, we'll start with you, man, up top. From a mile away, who can you see getting snubbed from this year's NBA All-Star team? It could be East Coast or West Coast.
Well, seeing it from a mile away, which I can do, I think I mentioned his name earlier. I think it'll be Cade Cunningham.
I like that one.
I think because of the popularity of some of the players in the East, Cade Cunningham might not get the ticket to play in the All-Star game this year. And I think he's done a great job with Detroit this year.
I got you. I like that one. Okay, so we got Cade Cunningham reference. Jay, who you got, man? From a mile away, who you seeing not making it, bro?
Oh, it's funny that Ben Carroll's probably still gonna make the All-Star team. I want to say him, honestly, but I don't know. I don't know where he stands right now. But they're talking about making a push for Ben Carroll being on the All-Star team. Without knowing, I guess. Let me see. I guess without knowing where he stands right now in the voting, um, I would say Ben Carroll because which I don't doubt he's good. I doubt he's gonna be snubbed. Um, but since he's been hurt, possibly he could be. So I'm gonna. That's gonna be probably the first player I would go with because of the fact that he's been injured for so long.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Ben Carroll, even though he still might make it, because there's always an injured player that makes it anyway. He's pretty popular, and he went to Duke. You know.
You had to throw that in there. And what to do?
I mean, a lot of nerds know his name, so I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use that word, but a lot of people know his name.
A lot of people know about him. All right, Bobby G, man, from a mile away, who's gonna get snubbed for these playoffs, bro?
Darius Garland.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, quite skeptic. He's been balling all season. A lot of people were down on him because from last year, but like I think a lot of people underrated the injury he had and how it affected him this year. He's playing back to playing at his all-star level, and of all the guards, he's the only one. He's been named NBA Player of the Week twice, and I think he's really going to get snubbed because people prefer flash over substance.
Yeah, well, you got a point. People prefer flash over substance. So I'm gonna say this name, man, and it's only because as of recently, he's been going off, and I really don't think that people understand how much the going off has been happening. And even though his name has been drugged through the mud, this is an all-star. If I just kick the numbers out for y'all, this is an all-star caliber season for anybody. And I'm talking about he's averaging about 13 points. Okay. He's getting 6.5 assists. He's also getting somewhere between 4.5 to 5 rebounds per game. Okay. And he's got several triple doubles in this one right now. And I'm talking about Russell Westbrook, man. Right now, Russell Westbrook has found his ground to call his home with alongside a great player, of course. And we all know it's Nikola Jokic. And yeah, there's a consensus about Russell Westbrook's status as who he is and what he will be doing going forward, or where he may rank among point guards in the all-time list. But when he's playing with good players, Russell Westbrook is one of a kind. And I honestly got to say this, man. When you look at some of the games, some of the stats from a few of the previous games that he's had, when Jokic has got a triple double, he's got a triple double. Everybody's splitting points. Everybody's getting assists. Everybody's getting rebounds. Like it's kind of hard to say that this was the same guy that played with LeBron in LA and couldn't thrive, played with the Clippers in LA and couldn't thrive. You know, and literally they kicked him out basically because they thought he was washed up for what he wanted to do. But he comes to Denver of all places, gets with Nikola Jokic, and somehow revives his career, shooting a better.
It's always the weird places you see Russell Westbrook start to ball out. I mean, after he left OKC, it was Washington for a little bit with him and Bradley Beal, and then now it's him in Denver with Nikola Jokic. So,
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to see, like literally go look at them stats and look at what he and Jokic put together. And I don't know how, but he's still balling. So, but Russell Westbrook and Russell Wilson for that matter will more than likely get left out of the All-Star voting. So, big shouts out to Russ for that very much matter, man. Hey, man, we getting to the end of the show.
Well, I got another name.
Throw you one more.
Me too.
Go ahead,
Bobby.
I'll say, and actually for this, I want to shout out somebody very special for making this happen. But it's too bad he's gonna get overshadowed. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. Because Kawhi Leonard is missing basketball games, Norman Powell is really getting his first opportunity as a starting player in this league.
Yes.
And he is balling. He's getting the job done. But I think he's gonna get snubbed. He should be an all-star. I think he's gonna get snubbed though.
He will.
Norman Powell don't got that. We know him because we watch it ball, but his name don't carry that weight to get voted.
That shooting the ball at a 50, 40, 90 clip almost.
That's what led to Dame leaving. I said his name. That's what led to start the process of Dame leaving. Is when they got rid of Norman Powell, how good we did in the playoffs with him. And it's just funny to see him and Derrick Jones on the same team producing on the team that they're on, which is the Clippers.
When they was both on the Portland Trailblazers, right?
Yeah. When we had a playoff run, they dismantled the team. That's what led to Dame saying, okay, yeah, that's that. Because, what are we doing? This is Norman Powell, like, that was it. That was pretty much it from that day on. All right, how you going to get rid of Norman? Like, look what he's been doing. And that started the miscommunication and all that. And it still took months from that point. But that was a good one. But I got a good one, and I think he's gonna get snubbed, and it's for obvious reasons, but at the same time, still getting snubbed. Tyrese Maxey.
Oh man, really? You think Maxey getting snubbed, bro?
Yeah, like currently he's like the 6th or 7th backcourt.
Wow, it's crazy.
Fans vote, okay, but when you have Dame, you have we talking about possible snubs being Dame, Jimmy, believe it or not. There's just certain names that come up as possible snubs that were crazy. It's like y'all brought up Cade, and I had a list of possible snubs. But when you look at these guys, it's like, okay, do you really take Tyrese Maxey out of he did well on this team. Team's not doing very well, but yeah.
I know they're obviously with our team. I know they're going to put Jay in there, but I think Jay Dunn might get snubbed, and he's been playing well this year.
Who?
Jalen Williams. J Dub.
He ain't get snubbed. He gonna make it.
Oh yeah. Hey,
There's
listen,
gonna be a lot of first-year players this year. That's for sure.
And I'm gonna throw this out there. You know what I'm saying? And this is two players that I got a chance to watch yesterday go at it, and I was like, man, like this is really what's going on. We got to talk about Domantas Sabonis out there in Sacramento. He may make the All-Star team. That's a possibility because of how well he is doing, and he is playing in Sacramento. Sacramento's actually doing really well. But who more than likely will get snubbed from that log jam in the West? Alvarin Şengün, bro. Like he ain't no slouch. And Steven Adams is back from injury too. I noticed that last night, and Steven Adams looked pretty good, but he's playing a outdated role in an updated roster. Nobody is just the big man who rebounds and passes the ball and doesn't score anymore. That's kind of a outdated position when you play center right now. But Alperen Şengün is the updated version where he can pass, shoot, dribble, and does really good on those. In my mind, when I'm from watching him and Jalen Green does really well on those DHOs on at the top of the key and on the elbow. Like he's hitting bounce passes and everything. So I want to give him a shout out. Go ahead, Jay. You still on there?
All right, so this list I found and SB Nation and then a couple other I went I can't remember if it's I think it's Focus. I can't remember exactly the other one. I just wrote this topic down. Um, Eastern Conference snows possibly RJ Barrett, like I said before, Maxi, Dame, and Zach LaVine.
Zach Levine.
Um,
Yeah, wow.
Western Conference, you got Devin Booker, J Dub, Norman Powell, and John Morant. And all three of those well, all four of those are valid
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
the situation. And then
Right.
just like Alan said, J Dub, you know, just the West. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll get his, but kind of early right now
Mhm.
for him. He's a little ahead of schedule as far as with guys that he's up against. And then you talking about the fan vote,
I wish it was
which
kind
I'm
of
supposed to
like
take
I
out.
wish it was kind of like what the MLB All Star Game kind of does sometimes, where it's the team that's usually the hottest team that gets a lot of the players selected to the All Star Game. Like last year it was a lot of Yankee players, a lot of Braves, and this, that, and everything else. The year before, when Texas was hot, a lot of their players went.
Man, muck
So
baseball.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's a
sometimes that's
So
kind of
you,
don't do
you
this
would
still
think
or
if
do this
just
you
more
still.
would
people to
think though
watch.
if they did it kind of like the MLB, it'd be a lot of Cavs and Thunder players because those are the two top teams in the
Yeah,
But
but
they're
they
division.
not
also
dying
don't they
for
have
people to
that rule
watch
that
them.
every team has to be represented?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
bogus.
Yeah, they just need people to watch.
that's why you get that random White Sox player from last year.
Right.
Yeah,
I
you be
mean
like,
that's
yeah,
that's
who's this
bogus.
guy? They
Yeah.
throw
But I
him
think
out
it was only Garrett
out the
Crochet,
bullpen.
but he's the only good player on that team anyway.
We were just talking about small market teams
Whoa!
about a week ago,
Sorry.
man. So it's crazy. But hey, guys, man, you know what? We get closer and closer to the top of the top of that second hour. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the buzzer beater and ski daddle on up out of here, man. So boom, right? There's a decline in viewership when it comes to the NBA, and this ain't a long answer, fellas. This could be any old thing. Like, what do you think is leading to the decline in NBA viewers, and what can bring the fans back to the game? And I'm gonna jump out there real quick. I, not commentary, but a lot of the post game, pre game analysis during the break. They be the fact that teams are playing a certain way and the analysts are breaking it down in a different manner. I think that the view of the analysts, because they played, especially professional analysts who played in the NBA, the views of the professional analysts are are dated. All right, now I'm not going. I don't want to call them outdated, but they're dated to when they played basketball. So if I am on TV and I am thinking about when I played basketball all the time, and I am looking at a game that I do not recognize, and I am speaking on it in a negative fashion to thousands and thousands of people, millions of people every week, some of them are going to start turning their TVs off, man. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset. Because I love the majority of. I mean, we're not going to talk about specific shows, but I love them shows. You know what I'm saying? I love those hosts. I love those analysts. But at the same time, we got to find. One of the things I like about Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. Smith has a vernacular, a vocabulary that is out of this world. Even though he may be talking negatively, the words that he's using does not sound too don't downplay or downtrodden the fact that the product that he's watching is good. He might not like how they play, but he's not taking away from the fact of how the player it's himself may or may not be good. And sometimes the other analysts, man, they kill them boys week in and week out. Certain analysts go, well, here comes another bad 3-point contest. Here it goes. Yeah, and we watching the show and we going, dang, yeah, it is a bet. But unfortunately, that's the way the game is played. I think we just need to reinvigorate the way we describe the game we are watching. And that's me. It just the way we watch it. We got to talk about it in the present tense and not in the past tense. You know what I'm saying? I heard KG say we got to watch the game through different eyes. And KG, and we all know how KG used to play. He got to watch it through different eyes too. Yeah. Back. So let's get the guys in here, man. Jay, what you thinking?
Oh man, I guess just to throw it out there. Hmm, I don't know. I'm gotta think on that one.
Yeah, just because, man. Just because I got you. Take your time, man. Bobby G.
Let me go, man.
Viewership. What you thinking, man? What's a good one?
I think it's a combination of things. One, the amount of different ways that you can watch a game. Like, and some of those ways don't count towards your traditional ratings. Like for me, I have a Fire Stick, so I can literally watch so many channels. Like for example, they can say sales are down for the NBA package. Well, I don't pay for the NBA package. I can watch every game, every single game. So just the more ways, obviously takes away from your main pathway to viewing the games. Not only that, it got to a point where everybody tried to play the game the same way, just making it enjoyable. Like you touched on, man. But when you show people real basketball, once again, I go back to last week's Cavs Thunder game. It's the highest view game of the season. Why? It's two teams playing at elite level at their best. People want to check it out, and they didn't disappoint last week. Last night was very disappointing.
Different story last night.
Yeah, last night was very disappointing. But we also got to create new stars, man. We have to create new stars, and this is gonna fall on the players too. Load management has been ruining basketball for a long time.
Ooh, load management,
and it's a common thing amongst people. How do you hurt a business? Hey, affect their dollars. Well, we can't affect the dollars, but they did sign a $76 billion deal to show games. And if people ain't watching, that deal is going to end up being worse than the Deshaun Watson contract. So, hey, let's get a handle. In order for people to tune in, they got to see their favorite players on the court. So let's get these guys back on the court. Coaches, let's create a diversity of playing styles. Like, that's why people miss the old game so much, man. You knew when you were going to see the Lakers, you're going to see that tempo game. You knew when you see the Celtics, you were going to see teamwork and post play. You knew when you saw the Pistons, you were going to see physical defense. Same thing with the Knicks. It was like different teams brought you different things every night. And right now, there's maybe like 5 teams playing a different style. Like you yourself were just saying, like, there's no place in this league for Steven Adams. Why is that? Like, it's not because he can't play. It's because coaches are afraid to get out there. Like, one thing that makes us special now, same thing. Okay, see, like we're literally one of the only teams that literally start a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. A true 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And I'm gonna jump out there and say this though. And one of the things that amazed me about the game that we are talking about that you witnessed last night was OKC had no center, and they barely let Garland and them boys get a ball to Jared Allen. What was up with that?
Yeah, they doubled and tripled. Well, no, I mean, every time they were doubling before the ball. That's because of the new rules. You can double team a man without the ball. So we'll figure it out next time we see him. Hope they may not be in the final, so hopefully reach. But they did, but that wasn't by choice. That was due to injury. So you can't really blame them for that.
I got
But you look at their real starting lineup is supposed to be Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren.
Yep.
Two bigs. Like you see more teams coming back. And I hate to say, like we kind of started the year before we got Donovan Mitchell. Our starting lineup, our front court was Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, his rookie year, and actually Lauri Markkanen. We started at the 3. We had 3 7-footers in the starting lineup. And then the next year we traded Markkanen for Donovan. But still, like you see some teams trying to get back to that. Look what they're doing in New York. With Mitchell, when he comes back, he'll start alongside Cat. But yeah, teams are it's monkey see, monkey do, and the better these teams get, more teams will follow suit. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Hey, AP, what's gonna bring the eyes back to the game, bro?
You got to start marketing your better teams. I mean, yeah, I get it. People want to watch LeBron James, but at the same time, the Lakers aren't that good. So, nobody really wants to watch the Lakers right now. Most of LA doesn't even want to watch the Lakers right now. Clippers without Kawhi, who's going to watch them? It's like Bobby said, it's all about the load management. It's all about guys coming in and getting their money's worth and playing the games as they're supposed to, giving the people what they want to see. But at the same time, it's the NBA's fault for not marketing the game correctly like they should be. Because right now, you had, again, last night, TNT, they did a great job. You had the two best teams going at each other, Cleveland and OKC. You did it the same week. Congratulations. You haven't done that for the rest of the league, though. We haven't seen much of, Boston on national TV as much as we used to. There are even some of these smaller market teams, like Detroit, like, Orlando, that are still really good teams. It's just nobody's putting them on a stage where they can watch them. You want to build the game for future stars. You have future stars in a Paolo Banchero. You have future stars in a Cade Cunningham. Why are we not promoting these kids? Why are we still promoting 40-year-old LeBron James and 40-year-old Steph Curry?
And I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna get out of this. And thank you, Alan, because you're helping the point that I wanted to make towards the end of what I forgot about it completely. But the thing is, and it's unfortunate that these young stars are not physically dependable. So when they're when the NBA schedule makers are making the schedule, they're going, man, I really love to see Ja Morant. I really want to see Zion play Ja on TNT. Or I really want to see Paolo Banchero play Zion on ABC on Saturday, or the noonday game. But then they think, man, dang, but what if they ain't playing? What if they're not healthy? You know who is healthy? 40-year-old LeBron. Yeah, Bronny could play. That's right. LeBron could play. Oh, you know who's healthy? Oh, hopefully Steph's ankles have not given out yet. Let's put Steph on TV.
Why can't the NBA flex out games like the NFL does?
Yeah, I mean, they don't. I don't know. They don't have the cachet to switch out games like that. But maybe they should. When them games get boring and whack, let's switch them out. Anyway, fellas, man, I think we did good. We ran 4s all the way down the court. We talk about 3-on-3, but sometimes we got to do 4-on-4. I think we did it, man. Bobby G, what you got going on for the rest of the week, bro?
Tuesday night, know what it is. Be on with you guys again on the big show. Actually, I got one more to do tonight and get me a meal, and then I'll be doing a reaction to last night's OKC Cavs highlights, and probably in an hour or two. Then next Thursday, got Audible Reacts. We're going to be reacting to, in honor of Kobe, we're going to react to his 81-point game. Next week is anniversary of his passing. And then next Friday is actually the 1-year anniversary of the Audible Sports Podcast. So, we're in the works of thinking of how we want to roll that. usually do like a AMA, Ask Me Anything session. So we may do that, or we may pull something else out. We'll see. Then of course, back here in the hoop next Friday. So that's what it is.
Gotcha, man. Hey, AP, wrestling this weekend tomorrow.
Yep. On the mat tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central with myself and Mr. First Down. Also, we'll be locking it in tomorrow morning and Sunday morning as well as we get ready to talk NFL playoffs. And we'll also be discussing the national championship game as well between Ohio State and Notre Dame. So definitely tune in for that. We got something cooking for tomorrow, by the way, so tune in for sure. And then baseball show on Wednesday. We'll be talking AL East for you fans of the Yankees, unfortunately. We'll be talking about the Yankees and Red Sox and all 5 of those teams. It's upsetting that Toronto couldn't sign the Japanese import today because that would have been great to talk about. Damn you, Dodgers. And then on the mat on Tuesday as well as we recap Monday Night Raw. And I'll be on the Rec Room on Tuesday too.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Hey man, Jay, what we doing, bro?
Well, I had to think about the question, and here we are. But hey, I'm around. You know what I'm saying? I'm around. I just, before I, go, I just want to say that football's king, man, and football coming with creative ways to do what they do, and I'm so looking forward to watching football flex its muscles tomorrow, and we get a little bit of the old school back, man. Possibly if we get these Commanders to beat these Detroit Lions, we're gonna come out the jungle with lion skin outfits on, man. Check us out. So,
Well, I mean, you
pretty
guys
much
have
now.
already started chanting "We want Detroit." You know what happens when that happens.
Yeah, Cowboys still lose because they're
Wow, Cowboys still lose. Dang,
still lose, man. Everybody, it's fun to watch teams in the playoffs. I've never been that guy, but like, let the teams in the playoffs let them play, man. Just let them play.
Let them play. And if y'all don't know, man, big shouts out to of course, Jay's Commanders. My team is not in the playoffs anymore. No, it's Allen's. So, Bobby, we know
We
all our
probably
teams,
won't be for the next 10 years,
all our teams are home.
even if we do get Dion.
Well, playoffs is going down. Don't forget MLK Day games. Monday night, the college football playoff national championship is popping off. Can't wait to hear about that. And other than that, man, Tuesday we're gonna be back on Rec Room, and of course in the hoop on Friday, man. I mean, it's going down. So once again, man, for Jada MIC, for Bobby G, and for our guy AP, we appreciate you, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Rec Room Sports Podcast, man. We out the door.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.